Hey collectors, hey statue enthusiasts, Sideshow collectors, Sideshow, Core of the Dead, whoever sees this, welcome to my next unboxing video, one I'm extremely excited for actually. This right here started my collection 2 years ago, and to see it be redone and returned, I'm extremely excited. 2 years ago is when 3 years ago now is when I started collecting statues, 1/4, 6, but I didn't know how to start. Where to begin? Could I go the Marvel route? I was more of a DC person. Could I have gone Batman, Superman, start with them? Honestly, it didn't feel right. If I wanted to begin my collection, I wanted to start it with an original property, something new, different, not comic-y per se, and I didn't know where to start my collection, honestly. I've been a small-time miniature collector for a while, but, bumping up to the big scale, it took a while. Where to begin? I wanted to start somewhere more original, more to begin with. That's when, in 2014, Sideshow unveiled, originally at Monsterpalooza. I wasn't there. I was at San Diego Comic-Con the year where they unveiled the Core of the Dead series, and the Core of the Dead is where I started. And years later, to come back to the Reaper General himself, I just don't know what to say. And honestly, I wish I could have had the original Reaper General here today. Unfortunately, he is at another house, and I didn't want to risk the shipping because back then I didn't really keep the boxes minus the art box. I don't have the original ship box container to it, and I didn't want my friend who is currently at the other house, who lives there, I didn't want him shipping it without how. So I didn't risk it, and I haven't, I should have brought it when I last did my trip, but I didn't. So I'm going to do this unboxing as well as after a bit of a review, because there are concerns, good and bad, of what I think of this rework statue, and hopefully maybe some of the other rework pieces coming up, such as the Queen has been teased so far. Shard's getting reworked. A lot of the original lineup of statues, from starting off with the Reaper General, working their way up, as well as new releases. So without further ado, rambling on all that, this is the reworked 2.0 version of the Exalted Reaper, although I think of it not as the rework, more as the prequel General. The General that, not started at all, but rather the General that begins. This is what I believe to be the early adaptation of the General, rather than the original statue, which is more like he's been in his field for a while. This is as if the Reaper General has just started off. Death just created him. He's still trying to figure himself out in the world. And I kind of gave a backstory to kind of help offset the questionable remarks I have on this statue. So, without further ado, the unboxing. Man, this is reminding me of the first Demithyle I unboxed years ago. I mean, oh. Wow. Absolute gorgeous. Sorry, to see where I began several years ago and then watch it come back around years later and seeing, the statue, the very first statue I ever collected, full scale and everything. I mean, it's getting to me a little bit. I still shoot myself for not bringing, sorry, I'm slow on that. Still kind of beat myself for not bringing the original back with me on my last trip back home, but, what are you going to do? Here we go. Demithyle, the Exalted Reaper General. And like I said, I'm going to explain a little backstory, because those who might have the original and maybe grabbing this one, or rather were kind of like, which I was too, honestly, when I saw it. And I'll explain it, and hopefully Sideshow gives me some support on this one. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'll cold-heartedly admit I'm not the biggest fan. But I'll explain it. So that is the front of the box. The side of the box has the bone insignia, which I am a bone user myself. We have the back of the box showing the Reaper himself. The side is exactly the same. We saw the front, and then the top is the Court of the Dead symbol. Alright, so, further ado, unboxing. Seriously, my hands are shaking here. It's freaking... I can't contain the excitement. Wow, this thing is packed. Damn. This is the part where I put on gloves, because if you're going to spend $1,000 on a statue, you might as well take care of it very well. Alright, where to begin? I'll probably start with the base. There's the cape. Now the base was kind of one of the things I was a little... 52. I got 52. That's fucking awesome. Which is kind of funny considering the fact the original one I had was edition 2 something, like in the 200 range. To get this new one and even a low edition one is actually really nice. Oh, damn, it's gorgeous. Now, the one I saw, I don't even notice. I noticed a lot of the side detail from the rework that was shown off at Comic-Con. I don't think I actually noticed the top of the base actually having the Core of the Dead symbol across the whole thing. That's actually really nice. But the base was one of the concerns I had from the original to the new one. But again, I have kind of a dumb backstory in my opinion. But one that kind of gives it perspective of the original one was more like the Reaper General years later. He's well known and established versus Death created Demithyle recently. He's still trying to figure himself out. You know, he doesn't have his sword yet. He loses the very nice, beautiful cloak. I actually like that touch. And yada yada yada. I'm rambling on this one. All right. Let's see if we can get this body that is very much so wrapped here without... And make sure I don't impale myself with this freaking foot. Yeah, don't impale yourself. Alright. So there's... Always remember, don't force it. That's how you break things. Just watch. That seems to be in, but something else seems to want to catch. And get one of the foots in. It does not seem like the main branch wants to actually go in. Okay, that's good. Oh, don't give me troubles. Come on. Alright, for once I actually had to use force, but they were in their points exactly. It just was a little bit of a tight fit, but that is good. Alright. Alright, he is on. Beautiful. Alright. Whew, there we go. Alright. Sweet. Seriously, tape? Really? Alright, there we go. There's one arm. This would be his. Oh, small one. Alright, there we go. God damn, how much tape is there? Son of a bitch. Seriously, not even the original one had this much freaking tape. They really freaking wanted this one to be shipped good. Then again, I hope so. It was expensive. Get it here. Woo. Oh, armor piece off. Oh. I don't think it made it in shipping. Oh no. Oh, yep. Bummer. His arm piece snapped. Oh, that sucks. It would seem his main armor joint did not make it in shipping, which is real unfortunate. Then again, it is actually... That would explain a lot, actually. It has no underneath lining support, so it's very easy for it to, if enough force is applied, it could snap. Bummer. Shipping's not perfect. Alright, luckily I didn't get too far into what I was doing and check the footage because that kind of cut out on me. So, yeah, unfortunately, shipping is rough, and one of the things I hate, absolutely hate, is when something gets shipped right towards a weekend where the package will get stuck in a warehouse. I hate that. I'd rather get it shipped at the beginning of the week so that way it gets here by Friday minimum, doesn't get stuck in a warehouse straight through. Less chance of damage. Maybe. Alright, next is its plate. If I can hopefully get it in. Maybe. There's one plate. They have this last one so high up, it's a bit difficult. There we go. Okay, hopefully I didn't bunch it up too much. I'll have to go back and fix it once I get it displayed. Alright. Hopefully that stays. See what else we're missing. Yep. Tiny arm. Can't forget the tiny arm. go. What else we got? Almost there. First fittings aren't perfect sometimes. I think got it, maybe. Enough. Now, the new addition, and probably one of the coolest parts about this piece, is the added cloak. Which, you know, it kind of makes up for the fact that we're missing a very... Whoops! Oh, so that's what the other piece was. I was wondering where that was. There we go. I feel like I am missing something here, though. The unfortunate part is not having that freaking wicked sword he had originally. Real unfortunate, but the cloak is a nice addition nonetheless. If I can get around to him without poking the beard. Honestly, the cloak is a little larger than I would have expected. That, or I'm doing something wrong here, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. I do still feel like I'm missing something off. An armor piece here. There is one of his little side chains here seems to possibly be missing here, or is very much so somewhere in said mess, though I'm not seeing it. Huh. Okay. So if I cannot find it, it would seem I'm missing one of his chain pieces that hangs off here, as well as the one broken piece of armor. Not as perfect. Alright, and there we go. Demithyle, the Reaper General. God, even years later, the piece is gorgeous. The paint job is well done. I don't know what is going here. I am missing a piece right here. I gotta either find in the mess that is plastic or figure out about getting a new one sent, as well as a replacement armor piece for his top arm, because that broke off unfortunately in shipping. Besides that, it's beautiful. It's still the same Demithyle I remember, and Instead of his base being on a rock, this one's on a pedestal. We're missing a sword, but we got a very nice cloak. Honestly, I might mix and match with the original. The cloak, it's a little bit difficult to mess with because they have a little bit of weight on the bottom as well as back behind it here. If I can. They have a little drum here on the back, right on it, because the cloak that goes over him here has a lengthy extension piece, which adds to the weight, and it doesn't want to stay up. It'll eventually fall over, but the cloak's a nice addition. Now, like I said, compared to the original, there are parts in this I like and parts I don't like. The scythe is still just about the same. They did the hand joint a little bit differently. They changed out the small bit of the armor pieces. The base is the biggest change of it. For the most part, it is the same statue, as well as we don't have his sword, which is the unfortunate part because that's actually my favorite piece of the statue. Was instead of the scythe, he had a really nice two-handed sword. The armor work is still gorgeous. His plates, his leather work, it's all very well done. And it's still a great statue, whether you move some of these pieces out of the way. There's detail in there. Even the unseen is gorgeously well done. There was a couple joints, the arm piece here, the top portion of the scythe, the leg joints as you saw. There was some quality control as far as slipping it in. I can't get the scythe in perfectly just because it doesn't line well with the back section of where the thumb is. The cloak is a little bit on the heavy side to keep it up and actually able to pose with it and use it. It's a little bit on the heavy side. There's critiques. Nothing's perfect, but still, it's a gorgeous, beautiful statue nonetheless. So the way I kind of figured this statue to be is the original one that came out, that was like Demithyle on the battlefield. That was him, not conquer, him posing victory, showing off to his enemies. There is actually an art piece behind his pose, but he's on a horse, but instead of the horse, this one, he's just on the rock itself, giving off his mighty pose. This one I kind of feel more like this is the pre-general of that version. This is like him in the city, wearing possible vestment cloaks, maybe he's off duty. He doesn't have his war sword with him. He's just his average scythe. He probably wheels with him anywhere he goes. A pedestal, much like that shows off the entire core of the dead, and it's a beautiful pedestal nonetheless. It's not the rock that he was on originally that makes it him more defiant, battle ready, but this one, considering, let's say he took a picture of himself in the city, it's a gorgeous piece nonetheless. And I always love the artwork of his armor, the details, but it's a gorgeous piece, and in some ways the cloak kind of covers up a lot of it. So if I can remove it here, like I said, the cloak's a little heavy. It has this huge back section which gives it a little bit more weight than you want to actually get it to pose over his head. He still has more gorgeous artwork across, especially this part right here I really love, is the spine artwork. The back armament that goes all the way around, even the detail on the back. There are certain details you could potentially miss based on which angle you see him from, especially the base. Whether that was something they showed off at Comic-Con or not, I can't believe I didn't actually notice the base right here on the top with the signal. Still, nonetheless, gorgeous piece. Love it. Can't wait to not only get it side by side the original, which I'm definitely going to do because I want to get a better comparison of the two, especially more along the lines of the paint job itself from the original to this one, because that's the one thing I couldn't compare, was paint job. But as far as the redone version, re-release rather, it's a gorgeous piece. You just gotta kind of think of it from a different perspective as far as where he's coming from. This looks more like where he's coming from, the city, versus directly on the battlefield with the original, because of that, the change in base. But still, nonetheless, gorgeous, gorgeous piece. So that is Demithyle, the General Reaper here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to shut up and stop rambling now. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.